Lifewater is a Christian organization. We are driven by the belief that good news for the poor is possible, and that together we can be the hands and feet of Jesus to those living in extreme poverty. We walk alongside children and families in some of the most remote parts of the world to provide clean water, improved health, and hope for generations to come. With more than 40 years' experience, Lifewater is the longest active Christian clean water charity in North America. Over those 40 years, we've worked in more than 45 different countries. And we're confident that together, throughout the next 40 years, we can end the global water crisis for good. Here in the U.S., the water crisis can seem like a far-off reality. But for families living in East Africa and Southeast Asia, it's a reality that steals the life of a child every minute. Every 60 seconds, a child under the age of 5 dies from a preventable waterborne illness. It happens in the most far-off and remote areas of our world where families struggle to survive. And this is a result of not only drinking unsafe water, but also due to a lack of access to basic hygiene and sanitation. Today, we want to share with you the story of Maureen. Our team met her in the village of Busikwe in a remote region of Uganda. Maureen's parents are farmers, and just beyond her home, there are tall sugarcane fields. Every day since Maureen was a young girl, she would walk through the well-worn path of the sugarcane to fetch water. It was a dangerous walk for water. Maureen had friends who had been attacked by men hiding in the tall sugarcane. And she did all of this to gather water that wasn't even safe to drink. But thankfully, Maureen's story doesn't end there. Back in 2017, Lifewater began working in the area of Uganda where Maureen lives. Our local staff came to her village of Busikwe and for 2 years walked alongside them. You see, lasting change is about more than building a well. It's about transforming unhealthy behaviors that have persisted for generations. Each and every family in Maureen's village learned how to improve their health by practicing simple, life-changing habits. This comprehensive approach to serving families is what we call our vision of a healthy village. Simple changes make a big difference. Things like building and using a household toilet, washing hands, using a drying rack for dishes, keeping water containers clean, and keeping the community clean. And you can see that these are things made by each household using readily accessible materials. In addition to working with individual families, Lifewater staff also visited Maureen's school and taught all of the students about the importance of personal hygiene and hand washing. Maureen's family and her village began to see health improvements almost immediately. Then it was time for a new well. The community came together to help make it happen. They formed a water committee and began pulling funds and resources together to meet the 15% community contribution toward the construction of the well that Lifewater requires. They also established and collected regular user fees from community members so they would have more than enough savings to maintain and repair the well in the future. Now, let's hear Maureen's story from none other than Maureen herself.
My name is Nagegama Maureen. I come from Busikwe. My favorite subjects in school are English and science.
Maureen is 13 years old, the same age as my daughter. Every day she walks 2 hours to get to school. When she comes home, she picks up her water container and goes to fetch water for her family. Often it's dark. She has to go through this path that winds into the sugarcane fields to a swamp with water that makes her family sick.
The water is dirty and it makes us feel sick, which stops us from doing other work.
She does this every single day, and she's heard stories from her friends who've been attacked, so she's scared.
The snakes bite us. One of my friends died from a snake bite when going for water, and sometimes there are people in the sugarcane. They attack us.
As a father, I think about my own daughter in that situation. I know there is nothing I wouldn't do to help change her life for the better. By God's grace, Maureen's story doesn't end in those sugarcane fields. There's a new Lifewater well that is just steps from her home.
We are proud of our new safe water. It is near our home and we are hoping for good futures.
At Lifewater, lasting change is about more than building a well. Our local staff work house by house to teach families like Maureen's new habits that will bring improved health to everyone. Less sickness means more time for school, more time for work, and more time for family.
Lifewater visited our school. They taught us about things like personal hygiene and hand washing. I came home and asked my mother and father if we could do the same practices at home. Then Lifewater visited our village and taught us the same things, and we were very happy.
This is the change you make possible when you partner with Lifewater.
I hope to be a nurse and maybe a Lifewater worker. I have seen how Lifewater saves lives in our community, and I would like to be a part of saving lives in other communities.
Sometimes it's easy to forget about the many impacts of the water crisis. It's not just drinking unsafe water. It's about the long distances that young girls have to walk to find a water source. They're missing school and being exposed to danger. Bringing safe water nearby doesn't just make you healthier and save time. It can give girls like Maureen an opportunity at an education and a life without fear. Clean water truly changes everything. As we mentioned earlier, Lifewater is a Christian organization. We were founded on the belief that every person is made in the image of God. It is with this conviction that we seek out and serve unreached, marginalized people groups in need of safe water. Faith is integrated in all of our work. We hire Christian staff. In fact, both nationally and internationally, all of our staff are Christians. Of course, we serve everyone in our program areas unconditionally, regardless of religion, creed, or tribe. Our Christian staff help facilitate Lifewater's Healthy Church strategy, which equips local churches to love their neighbors. And where there are no churches, we work with church planting partners to start new ones. Lifewater identifies countries and regions that are unreached and underserved with basic water access and sanitation, which means we focus on specific areas where other organizations are not serving. Currently, we are working in sub-Saharan Africa, Ethiopia, Uganda, and Tanzania, and Southeast Asia, Cambodia. In total, more than 175,000 people are actively participating in our Vision of a Healthy Village program. When you give with Lifewater, you'll be connected to a real story of a child or family your gift helps serve. Our website, lifewater.org, features regional water projects with families in need of clean water. You can see photos, read stories, and view interactive maps. After you've sponsored a water project, you'll receive photos, videos, and stories about the region you help serve. You'll be able to see the impact you have helped make possible. 80 cents of every dollar, a full 80% of your donation, goes directly into our programs. According to Charity Watch, a nonprofit organization is considered highly efficient when its program percentage is 75% or higher. The remaining 20% is used to cover administrative costs, including fundraising. Lastly, we want to share a few things that our donors and other organizations have said about us. Lifewater is recognized as one of the top-rated charities in the United States by independent reporting organizations and has earned a 4-star rating from Charity Navigator, the highest possible rating from the leading charity evaluator in the country. We've had the privilege of partnering with churches and businesses big and small, like Menlo Church, Venture Christian Church, Morning Star Senior Living, and Caprock Partners. Thank you for taking time out of your day to learn more about Lifewater. We have seen this work firsthand and can confidently say that this is one of the most powerful ways that we as Christians can make a lasting impact in our world.